Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Vandy Wellness Group training series on how to build a great home-based business. Hey, I've decided to throw one more kind of a bonus video together here and talking to several of our distributors and people who are interested in joining the business. There seems to be a lot of kind of common questions that come up, so we thought we'd take a few minutes here and be able to answer some of those questions for you. So one of the most common questions we get is this a pyramid scheme? And the simple answer is absolutely not. Just so you know, a pyramid scheme is highly illegal and typically involves the movement of money and no product. In a pyramid scheme, you're asked to give money in hopes that you get near the top of the pyramid so you can get money from other people. Now, Shackley has been in business for almost 60 years. Their products are used by the White House, NASA, the U.S. Olympic Committee, Oprah, Rachel Ray. They have dozens of patents, and their products have been proven to work in nearly 100 peer-reviewed medical journals. And they are the only supplement company that has independent proof that their products work. Now, nearly 60 years ago, Dr. Shackley decided to forego all the expense of the typical supply chain that we talked about, if you remember that from the first video, and instead decided to share the profits with independent distributors like us. And we are really, really happy that he did. Okay, the next question that we get a lot is, well, how much do you make? And here's the truth of the matter. What I make has no bearing at all on how much money you will make. Now, I might be sitting at home doing nothing rather than finding my four distributors, so I might make very little. And that doesn't mean you won't go out and build a business that pays you $500,000 or more a year. On the other hand, I might be making $500,000 per year, but that doesn't mean you'll make anything. The point is, we all have the same opportunity with Shackley. As you've seen, as you've seen, we work for an amazing company with an amazing compensation program. And we put together a great system for you to use. But at the end of the day, it'll be up to you to make it work. Are there any other ongoing expenses? You know what? This is a good question. And yet, there are some small expenses. So, um, if you remember back to Rick Seymour's original presentation, when you first join the company, you're coming in as a distributor. Um, but to make that first level of director, you have to purchase 100 PV per month, and PV stands for personal volume. And every product has a different PV associated with it. And the two kits that we learned about with Shackley 180, the turnaround kit has 200 PV, and the Lean and Healthy kit has 100 PV. You have to purchase to become a director. Have to purchase a minimum of 100 PV per month. So this would be, to get up to that next level, you would have to go out and purchase this. So okay, I'm not sure I can afford it. This is a very, very common question, and um, I think it's one that has to give some careful consideration. But yeah, I will tell you there. Let me tell you a quick story. Um, I worked for a Fortune 500 company that over the 10 years before we joined Shackley had been in demise. It was going downhill, and they took away just a ton of benefits that we used to have. Every year we used to get an incentive program. We didn't get that anymore. I used to get stock options. We didn't get that anymore. My health insurance, between what I paid in health insurance and the premiums and out of pocket, I was spending over $12,000 in health insurance. And over the course of the time, um, money got tighter and tighter and tighter, and kind of corresponded to the point where my kids were getting older and things were getting more expensive and were about to get really expensive. So when the opportunity was presented to us, that was the one thing I said. I'm not sure we can afford the $599 to get started. And my mentor looked at Catherine and I and said, "Hey Frank, how long have you worked for the company you work for?" And I said, "23 years." And Catherine, how long have you been working? And she said, kind of off and on, but 23 years also, right? And he said, "So do you mean to tell me that for the last, you guys have put in nearly 50 years of time in your job together, and you don't have enough disposable income to start a business that will cost you $599?" And he put his hand on both of our shoulders and he looked us in the eye and said, "Guys, I want to make sure that never happens again." And that was such an eye opener for me. He's right. After 50 years of work between the two of us almost, The fact that we were sitting here hemming and hawing, I needed to do something different. How is my life going to be different if I didn't change and do something differently? And we managed to kind of scrape and pull the money together. Now, I will tell you guys, there are some of you guys out there that you're going to look at this and you truly cannot afford it. What I would say to you is, keep all the links to this training series. We would love to have you come build a business with us, and when you're financially able to do so, but we don't ever want to put someone in harm's way. But for the rest of us, even us, we were in a tough financial situation based on, the income, reductions that we had seen. You know what? It didn't take us long to figure out, there were a couple things in our life that were extravagant that we could cut out. Um, and we saw what a great opportunity this was, and we didn't want to be sitting there another year from then, another 5 years from then, another 10 years from then, saying we still didn't have the money to go do it because we were heading down that same path. So if you find yourself in that situation, let's talk and maybe we can come up with ideas together to help you get that money. I'm not sure I have the time. That's another common thing that we hear. And okay, so you know I just mentioned I was working full time. My wife is working full time. We have 5 children who are very involved in athletics and other programs. We understand what it's like to be busy. We really do. A couple things though. One, you will find when you join Shackley, it becomes a labor of love. You are you are going to be so excited once you learn even more about the products and the impacts that they have on people's lives. And as I mentioned in one of the other videos, though, this is really about building a business at the speed and time that you want it to go at. You can go out and you can build this business. You can spend 5 hours a week. You can spend an hour a week, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, whatever you want to put into this initially. And then once you start generating income, for Catherine and I, our first goal was to retire her. She had been a substitute teacher. Our first goal was to make enough money that she could stop doing that and then focus on Shackley full time. And then our ultimate goal is for me to be able to focus on it full time. So you can really do this at whatever time and whatever pace you want to do. So don't let the time be your consideration. We'll work with you. Our system will really maximize the time that you have available to you. I'm not sure I can do what you guys do. And let me tell you, that is exactly why we built the system. When we came into Shackley, we saw a lot of presentations that were 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and that was our concern. And could we do that? So we wanted to do is build a system for you guys that one very easily helps you find customers and distributors. That's part of the system. This video training series that you're going through right now, if someone's interested in building a business, you get them to this video series so they can understand all this, so you don't have to do these long presentations with them. You're there at the end to help them answer some questions that they have and get them started and be their mentor. So you absolutely can do what we do, and we're going to teach you step by step. We're going to train you. We're going to show you everything that you need to know. Here's the key: the only people who fail at this businesses are the ones who quit. With our system and a little bit of work, we're gonna get you there, guys. We're going to show you how you can own your own life. All right. So again, here it's decision time. You need to decide if you want to continue down the path that you've been on or start down a new path towards owning your own life. If you're ready, contact the person who sent you to this video series and tell them you want to purchase the Shackley 180 Gold Pack to get started. Again, this has been Frank Vandy, the Vandy Wellness Group, and I can't wait to get started working with you and building your business and working side by side and getting you down that path to owning your own life. So, again, reach out to the person who sent you this video and let's get you started right away. Thank you, guys.